You know the saying, bigger is better? Well, some of us don't have the space for a huge aquarium or the resources to keep a ton of tanks. Keep watching for some creative ideas for smaller setups if you're constrained to a maximum of 20 gallons like me. Hi, this is a gamer's wife here with practical improvement tips to help busy aquarists like you. And I currently own 3, I don't know if you can call them nano tanks, but the biggest of which only holds 20 gallons. In my family, my husband, Mr. Gamer, is a collector of all sorts of things, and I'm more of a minimalist, so I don't really have the space or even the desire to get a larger aquarium right now. However, that means I've had to get pretty creative when it comes to optimizing the enjoyment I get from a 20-gallon tank. Like many of you, I get bored with my setups. I want to try new fish, new plants, new equipment, but I'm limited to the same size glass box. So here are 4 different ideas of what I've kept in a 20-gallon tank over the years. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, aquarium setup number 1 is a basic community tank for a beginner who has done some initial research into aquarium best practices. Inspired by the beautiful aquascapes I saw on Pinterest, it used natural-looking fake plants from PetSmart and black gravel, which I eventually replaced with black sand. We've got my favorites, the albino koi catfish as bottom dwellers, neon tetras in the middle, and then marbled hatchetfish up top. Unfortunately, the hatchetfish promptly died of ick, which is when I learned the importance of quarantine. So I replaced them with another top-level swimmer, Furcatus or forktail rainbowfish. Very lively and entertaining, but I didn't realize that smaller pseudomugil rainbowfish tend to have shorter lifespans. The centerpiece fish was a German blue ram, which eventually died because didn't know they like hotter temperatures above 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Other centerpiece fish I kept at various times included a honey gourami and a male betta fish who did surprisingly well in a community tank and actually stopped biting his tail once he had other tank mates to distract him. This tank crashed because of improper quarantine that introduced a fast-killing disease called columnaris. Awesome. I'll make a video on treating columnaris in the future, but by the time I figured out what it was, almost everything had died. I don't even want to talk about my attempted reboot of the beginner community tank, aka version 1.5, because it was at the height of my collectoritis and ended in abject failure. Somehow, I got it in my head that I wanted a rainbow-themed aquarium where I had one fish of every color. A red flame dwarf gourami, an orange balloon molly, yellow Furcatus rainbowfish again, green emerald koi catfish, and the blue came from cardinal tetras. Regrettably, I hadn't completely eradicated the columnaris, and it reared its ugly head again. This is when I learned the hard lesson of using dedicated nets and siphon tubes for each aquarium, as well as the practice of thoroughly disinfecting everything. I seriously wanted to rage quit the hobby at this point. All that time and money poured into this aquarium obsession, and I was left emotionally drained. This is when I left the fish world and took my detour into keeping axolotls. Still had the same fake plant decor, but had a totally new set of challenges with keeping the water cold and clean enough. After my experiences, I would recommend only keeping 1 adult axolotl in a 20-gallon tank because of their heavy bioload. And even then, a 20-gallon long aquarium is preferred. But if you're looking for an unusual underwater alternative to fish, give axolotls a try because they're super cool and very derpy. After my axolotls passed away, which you can find out why in my axolotl resources video linked in the description, I took another long break before starting tank setup number 3, the beginner planted aquarium. It consisted of Syracuse stone and spiderwood as the hardscape, and easy rhizome plants like Anubias and Joppa fern. No more collectoritis for me. This tank is focused on 3 fish species only, a school of albino koi catfish, a school of green neon tetras, and then a honey gourami as the centerpiece. Plus I had some Amano shrimp as the algae cleanup crew. If you're looking for fun breeding projects that aren't live bearers, the koi catfish and honey gouramis were both fairly easy to breed, but the babies were raised up in a separate tank from the adults. After a year with this setup, I wanted to try something new. So got my first time experience selling fish and plants at my local club auction, which was really exciting, and I'm happy to see them go to other hobbyists who will take good care of them. Today, I'm currently on setup number 4 with this 20-gallon aquarium, the Shy Guys Jungle Tank. I'll go into more detail in future videos on my plant selection and stocking choices, but given my struggles with algae in a tank full of slow-growing plants like Anubias, I wanted to try creating a more heavily planted jungle-style aquarium using some faster-growing beginner plants. I also deliberately chose fish and invertebrates that are all considered super shy, hence the Shy Guys theme. Because there's just certain species I've always wanted to try keeping, but I heard they hide all the time. So what would happen if I got a whole aquarium of timid creatures? In the future, I have many more plans for this tank. I'd like to do more breeding projects, or perhaps keep some cold water fish. Or maybe once this tank is really established and good at growing plants, try to do a planted axolotl tank? I'm kind of torn because axolotls can live a really long time, so I don't want to get one until I've kept some of my bucket list nanofish, or until I'm able to get another tank. Let me know in the comments below what aquarium theme or stocking ideas you would recommend trying in a 20-gallon tank. As always, take time to enjoy your aquariums, and I'll see you in the next video.